Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're at the Subic Freeport Zone, and we just finished our conference on ecotourism. And of course, we have our main speaker, Mr. Glenn Jampol, who flew all the way from Costa Rica. I am so in awe because Mr. Jampol is a leader in ecotourism, in the world. So we'd like to ask him, what's his impression? It's his first time in the Philippines. So what is your impression?
Well, it's an extraordinarily beautiful country.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the people are just magnificent, which is maybe the strongest asset you have, besides all the beautiful countryside and besides the beautiful water and all the areas that you can visit. I think the quality of the people is what really makes the Philippines so outstanding.
I understand he went to Palawan.
I went to Palawan, I went to Ilocos Norte, I went to Ilocos
That's all over.
Sur, I went to a little bit to walking around here in Subic Bay,
that's north and south already.
Yeah, and then I'm going up to the tea terraces.
Oh my God!
And so I'm really going to try and see as much as I can while I'm here.
So what's the potential you think of ecotourism here in the Philippines?
Well, I think it's got great potential. I think the Philippines has to really make a decision about whether they want mass tourism or they want specialized, higher-end, sustainable or ecotourism, because in many ways they're not compatible. And one of the things that we need to think about here in the Philippines is whether or not the country wants to really dedicate itself to creating these conservation areas and to create a kind of ecotourism that will bring very high-level tourists here who pay more for their experiences across the board than conventional tourists on every single category. So it's a much better income earning kind of tourism. It's a more protective tourism, but it requires a lot more control and planning and conservation, not only of conservation of the environment, but conservation of culture, conservation of the communities, and also education and training.
And then I think Mr. Jampol mentioned that we should, our culinary, the food, he said it.
Yes, that's one of the, there are many strong points here that we can find in the Philippines which would help it tremendously grow as an ecotourism destination. And I did mention the quality of the people. The nature of the geography here is very conducive to people wanting to travel around and seeing all the various, it's a variable country. It has mountains, it has seas, it has villages, it has cities. The culinary arts here are very well developed, even in the small towns. One of the things that astounded me here was the sophistication of the various sauces and ways of cooking. I think probably the Philippines would do better in tourism if they also put more emphasis on fruits here. I have not been able to really get fruits unless I went to the markets and got them, but not in the hotels and in other places. And there's such exceptional fruits here. This is the best mango I've ever tasted in my life. And I live in a country where they're very proud of their mango. Here it's so much better. And things like that need to be really promoted. People are looking for nature and wellness, and fruits and good food and warmth of people is all part of that experience.
Okay, all right. Well, we've heard from the expert himself, so that's a lot of takeaway points. We are so proud, Mr. Jampol. He graced our conference. I mean, when I saw him, it was like a movie star.
Oh, thank you. I'm very humbled by that. Thank you very much.
Very humble guy, but very accomplished. And thank you so much. And we hope to see you. Invite them to the ecotourism conference.
Oh yes, in October of 2013, we're going to have a big summit meeting of all of the ecotourism countries in the world. They're going to all be coming to Costa Rica, and we're going to be having cultural events and post and free tours. And we would love if the Philippines
have a delegation.
Beautiful country to come. Mina Gavor, Dr. Mina Gavor came last year to our conference.
I know,
and she was such a hit.
Highly about it.
Everybody loved to hear about the Philippines and see the pictures. But we need to have the Filipinos there at our conference.
The leading
October 2013.
delegation. So we'll prepare for that. And once more, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure. Thank you.
You
And
learned so
thank you,
much.
Philippines.